All right, welcome to Ongoing Volume Episode 8. I am your host, Digital, with my co-host,
Blade.
it's me, Digital. I'm gonna think of a new one. I
I
like
keep
I
on
like
changing my
yours.
intros. So
I know you keep changing. I can't keep up with the energy. Yeah. So a lot to talk about. We're just gonna let you all know right off the rip. We are gonna be talking about Chainsaw Man a lot. It's in a couple different
yes.
segments and a review. There's a lot going on for us in the world of Chainsaw Man, and so stick around if you like the reviews. And we're gonna be going deep into brainstorming additional segments as well. Yeah. Additionally, let's see. I what if well, before I go and keep taking the mic, Blade, what have you been up to in the world of anime manga?
Now, let's see. I've been reading. I read through a bit more of Sigma Law Frontier,
Nice.
and of course, I read the Chainsaw Man volume that we're going to be talking about today.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
um, but for the most part, anime wise, I haven't been able to really watch a whole lot that I've been wanting to. I've been keeping up on Digimon, Beat Break, and watching the uh, Jack of all trades, Party of none. That one's got past where the manga that I read was. Um, but mind that, yeah, I haven't been able to watch a whole lot.
I haven't either, but yeah, I'm super excited to talk about Chainsaw Man. This so far in the series, without jumping ahead, this volume is I am the most excited to talk about that we're in
A
right
lot
now.
happens in a very short amount of time. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So let's Blade, why don't you kick us off with anime news?
All right, so anime news. The first thing I want to talk about is the One Piece is actually real. Have you heard about this?
Uh okay. So here for those that do not know, I have only gotten to like chapter 100 or like episode 100. I think they're
So this has
arguably
nothing to
similar.
do with the manga per se. I'm talking about the One Piece is actually in our world.
Oh, in our world. Like real.
Aha!
It's real, real.
So the
Oh,
creator of One Piece,
no.
forgive me if I mess up his name. I always hear it and I just can't do it. Ichio Oda or something like that.
I think he goes by I think everyone says Oda.
I think everybody calls him Oda. Yes.
Yeah.
So Oda ended up for the accomplished that One Piece had done. That it surpassed Superman in the amount of what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Um, like over 600
Huge.
million copies. Because of that, he actually wrote down the secret of One Piece on a piece of paper, put it into a chest, and threw it somewhere in the ocean.
All right. Good luck.
People, there's always been speculation of where it could be, so I have no clue where. I'm never gonna actually do the diving to find it, but I think that's actually amazing that they did it.
What do you think is in there?
I don't
I mean
know.
like you said it's a piece of paper, but like what do you think
What
it is? Do you think
what
it's
I think One Piece is?
yeah, what do you think he put in there?
Good question. Um, because most people think that's like a big treasure, which I think there is treasure at the place because we already know roughly where it is. They're just trying to find. They know the name of the island. They just haven't gone to it. They're trying to
Okay.
find it because apparently the location to it is written on the phonographs. So they're trying to find all the phonographs. As far as I remember, I'm not fully caught up with
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
um, so I don't know. It could be the history of One Piece or something along that lines.
Do you
There
think it's
is
like
a
all the
forgotten.
blueprints and notes he's had for decades and he just threw them
So
in a chest
there's a
and
big question of that. There's apparently a forgotten history of One Piece, and anybody who can, and that's the reason why the world government doesn't want anybody who can read photographs to live, is because it actually there's a way to get the forgotten history through it. So,
oh.
and unfortunately, these photographs are made of materials that they cannot destroy. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
good question. I'm wondering if that's it, or if it's something a bit more. I don't know.
Hmm. Okay.
Anyways, we
What to
got a few.
theorize.
Yeah, next, we can theorize a bit more in this a different time. But
Mhm.
now we got some other new animes coming out. Have you ever played Suikoden?
No, I have not.
Okay, they are coming out with the anime for it, which is insane. That's an ancient game. That was on PS1 when it came out, when the original one came out. They have a
Yeah.
remake of the first two on Steam, which I of course bought, and
Nice.
it was an RPG, and it kind of had a different thing. You actually one of the I think the second one you had over 100 something characters that you could get. Not all of which are combat characters, but you recruit a ton into your army. It's actually really insane. And it was
Okay.
actually a 6-person battle, 3 up front, 3 in the back. And
Holy crap.
yeah, it was an
Okay.
ambitious game. It was done really well. The storyline was really good. So I'm actually really excited to see this anime. Then we got another new anime, reincarnated into a game world. I've read a bit about, but I don't know too much. It just seemed interesting, so I thought I'd mention it here.
Into a game world.
Yep.
Okay, real quick. If you could be reincarnated into a game world, what would you
Ooh,
pick?
good one. Um, I can tell you nothing with a zombie. There's no way
No,
I'm getting into one of those. It'd
no.
probably be an RPG of some sort, but I'm not sure which one because I want one that I could actually not be a bystander in, if that makes sense. um,
Mm, I would think my mind goes to like Skyrim because it's one of my favorite RPGs that I've played. But then, and like, if you're the Dragonborn, you can actually fight off dragons. You can learn like every
that's
single
a
skill
big
there is.
if.
And if not, well, so I guess even if you are a Dragonborn or you're not, they're what do they call it? The Daedric princes. They are so evil and messed up that I don't know if I want to be around that
Yeah,
world.
but you can also become a werewolf or a vampire.
That's true. Yep,
I mean,
I
we could
could.
go with the D&D one and do some Boulder's Gate. That'd be an
What if
interesting
you're
world to be
Lydia?
into, but
What if you're Lydia? You can't die.
true. There's instances of that, and you could also be
Well,
affected by the mind flares and become one of them, which
that's
is
true.
apparently not a nice event to go through according to the books.
Yeah.
Um, but I would actually probably want to go to something where I can explore a bit more. Maybe Ratchet and Clank or something like that. Ratchet and Clank's world, where
There
I
you
get to
go.
go to outer space, have space travel, have all this fun stuff, have some fun gadgets.
Yeah. Hmm, that's a thinker. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think about that next time.
I'm saying they're just doing a generic world for this one. And next up, I have another new TV anime. There's actually a few of them that were announced this last week. Um, we so what's wrong with getting reborn as a goblin? But this is one that I actually read the manga of a bit or whatever. I can't remember if it was a manga or like a webtoon or something like that. I can't remember where I found it, but I remember the main character from this one, and it was actually
Okay.
kind of interesting because in the world, most goblins apparently only live for like a very short amount of time, like a year or something like that, and they always pass on
Jeez.
their abilities. If this is the one that I remember, um, but this one, the ability that this goblin has is that they have the lifespan, a much longer lifespan. So they were able to get much more of the goblin abilities passed on to them, and they become the leader of this group and actually make friends with some humans and ends up with some.
Okay. Become the Goblin King.
Yeah, pretty much. They were the leader of this goblin group, and they become friendly with humans. And of course, there's some racist stuff going on because it's like
Hmm.
goblins. Oh no, they're monsters. They are.
Yeah. Yep.
um, and the last one I have on my list is Monster Eater. The Monster Eater. It's actually debuting on April 2nd. I've actually heard a bit about this. I don't remember the details of the anime, um, but it does. based on the title, you can assume some things about it, like guy's gonna be hunting monsters. Apparently,
We
want to
love
see
that.
them. So yeah,
We love hunting monsters and watching people hunt monsters.
yeah. Just seeing the trailers and everything. That's pretty much what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be good or not, but I gotta find out. I can't wait to actually see it and be able to judge it. Judge it.
Yes. We will tell you our thoughts.
Yep. And the last bit, which is actually a good segue to our next one, is about Chainsaw Man. This is gonna be the start
Yeah.
of the Chainsaw Man series. So
Yes.
Chainsaw Man Part 2, which is what we're currently in, will be ending on March 25th. Be the last chapter that they come out for Part 2. I don't
We're
know.
in part 2 already?
Yeah, apparently they're in Part 2. That's what they're calling it right now.
Oh, not us.
Not
But
us,
the
but the
wherever
manga.
current is. Yeah,
Current
yeah.
manga
Okay,
is in
okay.
there.
Gotcha. I was like, what? I thought there was so much more.
I
Okay.
don't think we've gone
Yes.
past Part 1.
Yeah, and if anyone's confused, just like I was, we're on volume 8. I think we're really far
We
behind.
just got through chapter 70, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what we're going to be talking about next. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Uh I can take it on unless you have some like opening like, "Oh my god, what is happening here?"
I
Yeah.
think we need to take this bit by bit. With I actually the
Yeah.
first note I have here is Corpina's poor car. So the beginning at
Yeah.
the end of the last one, there was a shot fired, and Krong C pretty much took that opportunity to go fight against what was
Kishibe.
it? Yeah, and
Mhm.
at the beginning of this one, he gets thrown out the window onto
Yep.
Kibiti's car. But
Yeah.
she gets off, then another person gets thrown out the window
Hopefully she
and
has
right on the
insurance,
car.
for devil hunting bodies damaging her vehicle, like, and fiends. Like, could you imagine the insurance cost?
Oh yeah,
Let alone the
insurance
repair.
supposed to be
Yeah.
so bad there. You pretty much have to
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure to have the selection for devil and
Yeah. You're like, oh, this will
feed.
never happen. A devil hunter wouldn't damage my vehicle. I'm a devil hunter. No, Kishibe is gonna land on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's gotta be an extra charge for it in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first note. It's just, oh, poor car.
Yeah. Yeah, Quan Chi kicks him out the window. And then yeah, he lands on it, and then the violent I call them the violent fiend for now. I'm sure it's violent devils. I don't think
It's a
we've ever
fiend,
seen his actual name.
violence fiend.
Yeah, okay. And then the girl you were talking about, Kobane,
Mm-hmm.
are below, and they're fighting puppets. So like this entire building is just filled with violent action. Still, even with Kishibe and Quan Chi like sitting down to like have this talk. Like downstairs still is going crazy while they're like sitting at a table
Mm-hmm.
before he gets kicked out the window.
Yeah.
Uh
Then being so Denji gets captured by one of the fiends or devils or whatever. One of the ones that were hanging around with Quan Chi. They captured two
the
of them.
female fiends. Yeah, that's what I've
Yeah.
been calling them. Yeah.
Yep. And ends up getting pinned down. Power has one of them still, and threatens to kill the fiend or one of the girls if they
Yep.
don't get off of Denji and pretty much stop fighting. But that
Yep.
doesn't go very well. They end up trying to kill Denji, but Bean comes in, the shark devil or fiend, whatever he is. I don't
Yes.
know which
Shark
one he
friend.
is. Our shark
Yep.
friend comes and saves Denji, and they start running away.
Yep.
And during the chase,
What does he step on?
Beam gets tripped over. At the same time, Denji steps on a nail, and we all know what that nail is.
And not just any nail. It's that cursed nail that he's already gotten pricked 3 times from in the last volume.
Now we got the fourth one, which it pretty much insta kills him. Well, kills him as far as you can with him being the Chainsaw Man, Chainsaw Devil.
His immortality. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he gets like stood up into like he thinks he's being grabbed by somebody invisible, but it's like setting up this whole like it looks like this ritual thing that's like unpreventable in that case. And then yeah, he dies, and then We see Tolka and Master arrive, where Denji is defeated. Beam is laying there, and then we see Master shares all sorts of horrible information. And what you
Well,
were
I was
worried about,
partially called it.
yeah,
Uh,
go
um,
ahead.
so I was saying that something was going to happen with the other character, um, and I was partially right. I was thinking that the curse was going to kill Toka. That didn't happen. Instead, it turns out that the master was just using him and turning him into pretty much a doll. Someone
Yep,
to uh, pretty much do whatever the
be a
heck.
scapegoat.
Yeah, he was there uh, just to become the doll and do whatever the original master told him to do. So it's like the true form of the doll devil's ability, which turns out the doll devil it was that the master.
Yep,
That we do get the full reveal later on, but this is kind of the big hit that this person's a doll devil of some sort, has a deal with them.
yep. And then we see, yeah. So this, the master, right, the girl, shares all these details of how she manipulated him to get him to the point to where he's at, leading up to what Blade just talked about. And then obviously this confuses Tolka because this whole time, it sounds like he was on death's door, meets her, she's going to be his savior, builds his trust, manipulates him. Stuff that, like, especially in this series, like, anyone that's doing anything for free, you immediately need to have a red flag and be like, what would be your benefit then, right? And that is such a common trend in this entire series of, like, no one is genuinely your friend, like, almost ever. Like, there's maybe
Yeah.
one or two instances, and it's it naturally builds that lack of trust of, oh, new character, what do you want and what are you gonna do to me?
Yeah, and
Especially for Denji.
we finally get the full idea of the old man that we thought was Santa Claus. Turns out he's not Santa
Yeah.
Claus. He's the
Yep.
grandfather to Santa Claus, which was the, the master of the group.
Yeah.
The person we were wondering where this person came from. Oh yeah, that's actually Santa Claus. It's what?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Quite a loop.
Yeah, so the old man was literally just brought there to be a sacrifice. This is when everything starts literally going to hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's all fictional speech. Like the Doll Devil sacrifices Grandpa to send everyone in the building to hell.
Yep. And this is the first time we actually get to see it. We have heard about it in a little bit of dialogue. There has been, like, really no flashbacks to, like, what it even looks like, what it's a part of, anything. And then we jump straight to all of the main characters that we really care about are now in there on top of enemies. So,
Well, the
uh,
enemies immediately make a temporary truce to figure out what the heck's going on.
yeah, Quan Chi's like, hey, we're having a truce. As soon as they get there, I'm calling them the women fiends for now. Her
They're
group
freaking out.
and Power are freaking out. They're the fiends. They all know where they're at. They all know what's going on, and they are terrified. I, so if it, just to kind of build out the layout, right? So they pretty much, I think they teleport in this whole thing. They, like, teleport or
Yeah,
are
it had this
summoned or
weird
something.
comic scene where this hand comes and just kind of grabs the building, and next thing you see is a hand separated with like ants. And
Yeah,
the next panel is just them in this world with all these doors on the
yeah.
sky.
It's like Monsters Inc. with all those doors, except it's covering a sky. It's
Hmm.
just doors covering a sky, and they're, like, in this grassy plain, area, which looks nice and normal on the bottom. And then you see the doors, which it's not like demonic looking or fire. Like, it's very off-putting when you think of hell, right? Of, like, I don't know. When you think of
It
hell,
seems
or like
very calm up until
yes.
when the door opens.
Yeah, so yeah, leading up to that, I think Denji had tried to go into his chainsaw form. It's his chainsaw is like poking out pretty much. He doesn't have enough blood at this point.
Yeah, I actually found
Quan
that
Chi,
really interesting. How much blood he lost to the Cursed Devil.
yeah,
It was insane.
yeah. So Denji's pretty much like he's not equipped to do anything. Not that it's really going to help him in the next couple panels, even if he was. And then yeah, Quan Chi puts on a truce. She's even on the lines of like, oh, I'll handle anything that's coming through. Stay by me, blah blah blah. And the fiends are like, no, no. And then one of them even asks if they can, and I'm going to be subtle in my wording. They want to pretty much do something to get rid of themselves
Yeah,
in
they
that
said
situation.
kill me now before
Yeah,
they come,
and
and they were sensing
ask for
something coming, and
permission.
they kept on hinting towards this big entity
Yeah,
coming towards us.
yeah, and before we even see the door open or we know what's coming, or they even like say something along the lines specifically of like, we are being watched by the primal fears or devils. So it's not like no one knows they're there. Like they are being watched. They know they're being watched. At least the fiends mention it. And then um yeah, and then a door opens and it is definitely
Up.
like one of the more scary
So
moments in the series so far.
yeah, I actually want to talk about the first scenes you see once he drops down. I'm curious of why there's a row of spacemen there. So give you a guys idea. There's spaceman
I have an
that
idea.
kind of makes
Astronauts, yeah.
I kind of have an idea about why this is, but I still want to chat about it. So yeah,
Yep, yeah.
there's a row of spacemen, and they're like cut in half with one legs being on one side and the body being on the other side, and it's like making this path for this
Yep.
guy, and the guy ends up being the Darkness Devil, one of the primal
Yep.
devils.
Yep. Yeah. So my theory behind that is it's out I mean outer space. It all the darkness out in outer space is dust, and that's like where he's going to thrive is the shadows, like that's what my thought was. It's got to be some relation to outer space, to darkness, to those astronauts that maybe, they probably are some of the first that ever got to experience that type of fear of that level of dark, like
Yeah,
fear with
the true
darkness.
darkness of space.
Yeah.
Nothing can live out there. It's something you don't unknown.
Yeah. That's my theory behind it. Cause that adds a whole different level. Like, even if you're like, oh, I'm not afraid of the dark, like if you go out into space on a space station, you already have a bunch of fears, like, oh, I need to worry about oxygen, oh, I need to worry about power and food and blah, like, but like if you look out the window, you don't feel so safe and powerful like you would in your house where you have all your comforts and this and that, and then everything that is building up of like, well, why would I be afraid? Well, it's space, it's dark, it's the unknown, and all of a sudden that you know the definition kind of changes of, are you afraid of the dark, right? Because
Hmm.
nightlight is very different than you're in space, and you know
I think
doesn't matter.
darkness. I think one of the reasons why this is a primal fear is the darkness represents kind of the unknown.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we just don't know. It's clouded in darkness. Put it. So yeah, it kind of
Yep.
makes sense that this would be something that's powerful because it is representing the unknown. And yeah, we don't even know how the heck this guy fights. Like all through this battle, he literally just kind of points, and then stuff
Yep.
happens.
Yeah. So he is pretty much. There's another note too. Does it happen in this volume, or is it mentioned earlier when they talk about primal devils? Is that I can't. I want to say it's earlier because there's something that is mentioned earlier about the primal evils or primal devils. Maybe I'm mixing up like Doom and this when I say prime evils. Is they talked about, oh, the gun devils are pretty much don't hold a candle to the prime devils or primals or
Yeah, I
whatever.
think it's when they were when The angel devil and Aki were talking about hell. Like they
Yeah,
mentioned something about the primal devils being not being more powerful than the devil.
right. So, and we haven't even met the Gun Devil. So this guy is leagues above the name of something that he's pretty much been sending forces after Denji and them. Right? So like to see this is like in my head, this is how I can put it in the most basic terms of how I'm thinking is we're in the Frieza saga of Dragon Ball. And the guy that just came down and fell down is Kid Buu. Like that's I'm sure
Yeah.
maybe we'll get more context as we keep going, but like knowing the Kid Buu or Kid Buu or the Buu saga leading up to Kid Buu or maybe even Super Buu, it doesn't really matter. Like they're just leagues above what we've been seeing, and Frieza's the big bad. That's Goku and them. They're not even on Namek yet. Like they're the name of Frieza is terrifying, scary. We're not even there yet. And then this guy seems way further than that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting in content in beginning in like the second battle type of thing. It's like holy crap, we're screwed.
Yeah. And yeah, so to continue on, he comes down. He's just
Yeah, all I
cleaning
can
house.
say about the next little bits is, and they died. Pretty
Yeah.
much everyone in that
Um
group gets killed almost instantly. Very quick.
yeah, I think I maybe we or I kind of like segued a little too fast. There is a part where the puppet devil or Tolka or whatever, they tell the darkness devil that is now down there
Oh,
that they
right.
did their contract with Denji
We
and
have
said,
brought
Denji,
you the Chainsaw Devil.
yeah, we brought you his heart. Here he is. I want my end of the deal. So this is all part of their plan, right? And we knew that because they summoned him there. But this is the reward for doing this, right?
And the reward was the power to kill Makima.
Yes, and it was in the form of a piece of flesh from the darkness devil. And that ends up going to Master or whoever, right? Up
Santa
top.
Claus. We could just call that Santa
Yeah, we'll
Claus
do
at this
that.
point.
There you go. We'll call her Santa Claus now. So she is up in the human world, is what I'm going to call it. She's up there with Kishibe and I forget the octopus guy's name. They're both up there with that car, kind of recovering, trying to figure out what the heck is even happening to the rest of the crew. She's up there chilling, kind of like aura farming, right? And then she gets this power. So now stuff's happening over there too. Like no one's just hanging out on that end of the story either. uh and then you go back to hell. And then that's when everyone, including Quan Chi, the fiends, everyone tries to go after the darkness devil to go defend themselves. And he's literally like swinging his fingers around, or you don't even see it. And they're literally just being cleaved like in half or dismembered or like literally like hot butter
We get to
through
see the
a
Stone
bubble.
Devil for the first time before it just
Yes.
gets shattered.
Yeah, he literally gets it looked like he got like pulled out. So
I actually
the
had to
guy that
go
had the stone devil.
that few pages. I had to go back and forth to figure out what the heck was going on. It's just like this
Yeah, because
new
they showed
devil
you two
came out
different
of
characters.
nowhere.
Yeah, I did the same thing. So you see the guy that has a contract with the Stone Devil. He's putting his like incantation circle thing on the ground, like he did when we first meet the puppets, where the humans can't touch the puppets, otherwise they could become puppets. So they use a longer distance attack with this. It looks like spit kind of thing with the Stone Devil. Excuse me, contract that he has that turns the puppets into stone. So he tries to start doing that. Keep in mind, most of the characters are missing their arms at this point. So he's doing it with his feet. And we see him, I don't know, almost finish the circle. And then we see the darkness devil realize that he's there doing that. And then, yeah, like the next panel over, he's literally like he's got the stone devil out of the dude, or like I don't even know what happens. And then the stone devil is just gone. And then the guy that was doing the incantation, he's gone. Like just immediately. Like no chance he, even if we were to go sit here and pretend like maybe the stone would do something, like it wasn't going to happen. Like he didn't even get to finish the circle, let alone start an attack. So I don't know. I'm immediately going, okay, cool. All this is happening. How does Denji get out? How can Denji get out, or what is the play to get him out of there later? Because he's the main character, so that's what my head jumps to. Is like, okay, something
Yeah.
has to happen for this to progress, right? He's
Yeah.
in
So
this dire situation.
yeah, there's a couple things I want to point out before we get to how they get out.
Yeah,
So the
go
first
for it.
thing is that Beam lost his arm and is now feeding Denji his blood, trying to bring Chainsaw back.
Yep.
And he gets to the point that he's about to rip his cord again, and he gets his head chopped off. And then we Violence Fiend is there, and he tells Kabini to take off his mask, which is something that he's
Yep.
specifically told not to do.
Yep.
But around the same time that Denji finally gets up, the mask comes off, and we get to see Violence's true form. And
Missing
yeah,
arms.
honestly, yeah, missing arm, and he's still like, it's actually intimidating what Violence looks like.
Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't last
Scary.
long.
No, and if you think about it, he is a pretty good fear itself, right? Because they tell us early on that a devil's power is pretty much measured by the type of fear that they represent, right?
But they also,
Darkness, obviously,
yeah, they
we talk about
also
a lot.
listen that when when Violence Devil fuses with a human and becomes a fiend, they actually lose some of their power. Usually not
Sure.
nearly as powerful as they are in full devil form.
Yep. And we've seen, I guess at this point, it's hard to really gauge how powerful the violent devil is or could have been, because I mean, even if he's nerfed a little bit, like it doesn't matter. Yeah, like because I was gonna say the violent, when you think of like a fear and violence to somebody or anyone, it's a genuine, like it's a real fear. I don't want to get in a fight, or I don't want somebody to get harmed, like with violence, right? Like that's a real fear. Like a lot of people, if not everyone, experience it in some way, right? And so that is not just like, what was the first one? A tomato devil or something like that, right? Like
Yeah, that's not
this is,
scary at all. Besides,
yeah, this is a real fear, kind of like the darkness guy, that we just met, where it's like, oh man, I could genuinely see these being comparable of, genuine fears that, so yes, to your point, he probably was nerfed. He was missing his arms already. And then he immediately just falls with the rest of the line of just being swiftly defeated. And at this point, yeah, Beam pulls Denji's chainsaw string, and then he's sliced apart. He feeds him blood. Darkness Devil slices through pretty much everyone. What did I know?
then we get the Spider Devil coming out.
Yeah, Princey.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying.
Spider Fiend, sorry.
Yeah, yep. They come in, try to help out. It's like,
and swiftly gets taken care of. It's like a whole nother threat.
yeah.
And Princey was talking to Makima. And Princey was like, "You shouldn't come." And Makima was like, "Bring me over."
Yeah, and then Princey has like some zipper across their body or something that pretty much summons Makima by opening it. That none of that is explained, but Makima ends up in hell.
We don't get any explanations of Makima's abilities even now.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting into it. Trust me, because I can't. I want to talk deeply about our next theories with her after we kind of get into what she's going to be doing. So
The first thing
she
we
gets there.
see her do, which I thought this was actually really interesting, they both point to each other. Like the whole time, Dr. Devil's just kind of
Yeah.
pointing at someone, and they just like fall apart. And now
Yep.
he points at Makima, Makima points at him, and all of a sudden, wait, the Darkness Devil took the damage. What the heck's going on?
Yeah, the most that happened to her that I noted was like her fingers. I was calling it distorted because like they either got cut off or like messed up, in a really bad way. Her fingers that she was pointing with got distorted in that way, but the Darkness Devil caught like obliterated, like he was doing to all of the people, Quan Chi, the Violent Devil, like everyone else.
All these powerful people that they were having trouble with, and Darkness never even took a scratch. Then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
Makima comes, and Makima is the first one to actually deal damage to this guy. Meaningful damage.
didn't even just graze him or like, come into contact, like you could see like that devil had to have felt some fear of like, oh, yep, this is Makima, because we keep hearing from the sidelines, like, people want to get rid of Makima, and we've been theorizing this whole time of like, okay, but why? We don't know why, but we know she's scary, right? Like, nobody wants to be messing with Makima, and there's so much so that they need a plot around her, right? And this, I mean, I even if we want to say, let's pretend they're equals, and Makima caught him off guard because he wasn't expecting it. Makima's scary.
Literally, Makima's the whole reason why they get out. What she actually that doesn't she deals damage to Darkness, but Darkness quickly recovers, and then goes
Yes.
out to Makima. Makima takes damage this time,
Yep.
but she takes control
Loses
of the
her arm.
doll. Yeah, so the doll. What was his name? I always forget the guy. I don't
Tolka?
remember. Toka, yeah. She takes control of Toka as a doll, and has his head say, "Release the people from hell" or something like that. And
Yeah.
that's how they get out. It's just like, what the heck?
Yeah, so she manipulates him, which totally confirms everything we've talked about of like, she not only does she have the intellect to manipulate people like in just conversation, like Denji, for example. She also has some sort of power to just do it,
Mhm.
right? And it's maybe it's an on or off switch. Maybe it's like, what's his name? Killgrave or Killmonger. I forget what his name is in Jessica Jones. He's a villain. He talks. He manipulates. He doesn't even try. He just talks, right? Anyway, she forces Tolka to, I think it's like make a contract to say, I offer my entire self to pretty much get everyone out of hell here. It's not Makima making the deal.
Nope.
She says it or she makes him say it on her behalf. So she's not regulated to whatever contract that Tolka just signed himself up for without his knowing or
I'm wondering
intent.
if she can actually make a.
Oh, she's someone that they would make a contract
I'm not
for?
sure if she could make a contract because they mentioned. I'm not sure if she's a devil, human, or what, because she is not normal. But they mentioned early on
Here's
that
what
devils and fiends cannot make contract with other devils.
So here's I put the exact quote because I wanted to go over this and I just found it. So Makima puts her fingers on the puppet devil, and we see it says, Hell Devil, I offer all of myself. Please return us. So she made a deal, or the puppet, right, made a deal
With the Hell
with the
Devil.
Hell Devil, which is like another level of like, oh my God.
Well, they already made a deal with the Hell Devil to go to hell. That's how they got him there. So I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense that they would need to do something similar to get back.
Yeah. And it's interesting. there's so many that this
There's a
part,
Hell
this whole
Devil, like that
sequence of
right there,
events,
is just insane.
there's a hell devil, and does a hell devil or a devil doesn't just have to make a contract with somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they can reject it or say no or whatever. So like all of myself, what does that benefit the hell devil? For him to just undo what he just was asked to do, right? Bring everyone here. That's something, it's probably not as big of a detail as I'm thinking of, but like, is it because it's Makima forcing him to say it and the Hell Devil believes Makima was offering herself? Or is it the Hell Devil is willing to take anyone and all of
I
themselves
think it's
to do that?
more
Like,
he has a general that he's willing to take anyone because they do it the same thing, the same way to get him there. Like if you offer,
yeah,
if someone offers all of themselves, they can actually send people to hell or back. That might be
yeah,
just part of what the Hell Devil does.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But yes, then they so then they get out, and then we're arguably on like, I don't know, the last third, I guess I would say, of this entire volume. And with everything that we've seen Makima do against the Darkness Devil, she comes out missing an arm. And she has pretty much Denji just kind of like laying across her legs. She's kind of like kneeled over, trying to like help him, it looks like. And then we see Santa, who's the girl. She's consumed the Darkness Devil's flesh that she got as her reward.
It
So
becomes like
she
a,
is,
I'm calling I called it at this point the Darkness Doll Devil, and it's like
there you
a
go.
interesting form. It's like a mannequin that they put a ton of arms and the legs are replaced with heads and oh.
Yeah, it's like Overhaul from My Hero, where he just keeps adding limbs. That's pretty much what I got out of it. And
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
so she's super scary. She's been getting stronger, trying to figure out Darkness's power this whole time. And she approaches Makima, who is again missing a limb. She's damaged, you can see it. And she kind of like whispers to Denji, like, what does she say exactly? Something like, "You'll protect me, right?" From
Protect
this
me,
or something
dog, or
around
something
it.
like that.
Yeah, and Denji goes from his human form, who's been lying around, to immediately in his chainsaw, and he like says "woof"
Wolf.
or something. Yeah. And then then immediately we have we find Denji. Oh, so as this is happening, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. As Denji's getting up, we see on the roof, because they're now in the town, of like where the department building was. They're in this main town. And so then we see one of the fiend women that was with Quan Chi. She's on a roof. She has Quan Chi's head, right? Which is already like, oh, maybe she's mourning Quan Chi, right? And then she reaches behind her eye patch because she has like looks like a pirate eye patch, right?
Yeah, and she takes
And
out this weird. It looks kind of like a mix between a dagger and an arrow, like a dagger, but
yeah,
the hilt is actually an arrow. It's really weird. Next, yeah, the next thing we know,
so
we get a
yeah, so
new
at the
devil that we don't know.
yeah, so then we see so they throw it down at the bottom. Denji is getting overwhelmed by puppets. I keep saying puppets because I'm
Dolls.
playing Liza P.
Yeah.
Dolls. Uh and then that blade goes into the crowd and then it
I don't
just
go to crowd.
explodes. Or into
You said Blake goes into
the
crowd.
dolls. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You went into the crowd.
Oh dang it! I don't want to fight
Touch grass.
dolls.
uh and then we immediately see a new devil, which I'm pretty sure it's Quan Chi
I think
because
that is Quan
they
Chi.
yeah,
They referred to that devil as the first. What was it? The first fiend devil hunter, first devil hunter,
yeah,
and
yep.
they're really powerful.
Yeah.
I was actually really impressed with what they could do. But they never really mention which devil it is. It looks kind of like a piercing devil or something like that because they use both dagger. It's like all their attacks kind of put holes into the different monsters. And
Yeah. So then we have Quan Chi and Denji against Santa.
mm,
It's like a 2v1. And that fight, I mean, what Blake's talking about with Quan Chi and how powerful they are in this form, every single time Santa approaches Quan Chi, she literally just explodes huge holes into Santa every single time.
but Santa
Like
can
to just
now
simply,
regenerate very quickly while in darkness.
yep, very scary. And they learn that, very quickly, and they go, "Oh, I could use this to my advantage." And then as all of the fights are happening with the dolls, with Denji, with Quan Chi, with Santa, and all the combinations and whatnot, it's getting late and it's turning into night, which is dark. And next time we see Santa's a lot bigger.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I will point out before this that one things that the doll devil does is they give the consciousness back to the dolls. I did not know that the doll devil could do that. I just wanted to point that out. And they start chatting, and it throws Denji off for a bit. But Guang Shi doesn't have any issues with it. It's like just think of it as like they're just pretty much a robot trying to mimic human.
Hmm. Yeah, let's see. Scroll up on my notes too.
So it does get dark, and Denji's now trying to fight the this doll devil that's been infused with darkness in the dark, and they're pretty much invincible at this point.
Yep.
So Denji gets the bright idea, which I can definitely see Denji doing this, of covering
Yep.
himself with gasoline and then using his chainsaws to spark it. And
Yep.
I'm calling this Fire Denji.
Yeah. Flame on.
So this becomes a kind of a battle of how long they can last. Because Denji's constantly taking damage from this fire, but he can also recover by drinking blood, and all the
Yep.
dolls have blood. Um, while
Yeah,
this
battle of attrition.
nutrition, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Um,
Yep.
and while the doll devil can all the damage that they take, they can spread out among the dolls.
Yep.
So
Which I thought was interesting that they noted that a couple times because they said pain over and over again. They didn't say damage.
that's true.
And and I didn't necessarily know the value of being able to spread the pain because if it was the damage, then you're like truly invincible, right? Because I don't know if you have 100 dolls and you spread them 1% across each, like whatever attacks coming your way, good luck, right? And so I maybe that was a translation thing because I didn't see that as big a deal as they kept making it seem. Of like, oh, I don't see the problem here. I can keep spreading the pain across. It's like, okay, you could not have damage receptors, but you still could get defeated. Like
Mm-hmm.
or pain receptors. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway, that was a small note that I had on that. I was like, I don't know if that's as big a deal as you as you think it is.
I will also note that Denji is getting a lot better at using his chainsaws in battle. Like he's now thinking about actually using the
Yes.
chains as a way to ensnare his targets, which is what he does to the Doll Devil, and trying to drag them
Yep.
in with the chains.
Yep. Yeah. And so pretty much how this fight goes is Denji's able to get his chains around Santa while still being, fully engulfed in flames. And they keep using the dolls to try to keep Denji away. He eventually is able to break through and pull himself on top of Santa, and that's pretty much the it's an explosive
Yeah,
fight,
that ends up
pretty
being
much.
the pretty much the end of it. He doesn't kill the Santa at that point.
Nope.
Santa's still alive. but they get to the point that they can no longer regenerate or do anything, so they're just kind of stuck there. And
Yep.
that's when Quan Chi becomes back to normal and has the Halloween girl do some interesting stuff.
So not yet. So not yet. Because as soon as that happens, doesn't she end their truce
Oh yeah,
and she
yeah,
cuts
she
off
cuts
his
off
head?
Denji's head. Yes,
Like immediately. You see Quan Chi
Quan Chi back to
in like
normal, back to their normal human state. Just goes over, cuts off Denji's head. It's like truce over. And then she looks
yeah,
over at the
immediate, no
Halloween girl
hesitation.
and says, "Give her
Yes.
the full blast."
Yep.
And
And then
yeah, the
that
fur
is
blast is kind of interesting. So what happens is this Halloween's like Halloween, and next thing you know,
yeah.
the Santa's in this like library with this Halloween girl saying they're saying Halloween, Halloween. Then finally,
Yep.
the Halloween just starts talking to normal. It's like, I am the Cosmos Fiend,
Yep.
and I'm sorry for what's about to happen. I'm about to put all the knowledge in this library into you. It's like, well, I already have all the knowledge from the Darkness Devil. It's like, well, the Darkness Devil has what would be considered one book in this library of knowledge.
No, they say one they don't even have one page of one book in
Yeah,
this
something along
library.
that lines. It was something small in this
Yeah.
huge library. It's like,
Yeah.
you are about to get all this stuff into your head to the point that you're going to go crazy, and all you can say, and at this point, it just gets smashed between a book of Halloween, is
Yeah.
Halloween. Then afterwards,
So,
all they say
yeah,
is
and
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
so this part is especially important because they also talk about Santa before this happens, talks about you'll never defeat me. I can always move across all the dolls that I have across the world. There's no way you're going to be able to defeat me because, how easy it is for them to pretty much make dolls, right? And so like that is like in the back of your mind of like, oh, well, how could they? It's like a virus. Like how could you, especially when they've already pre-infected people and there's not ways you would just outright know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then this happens and then you see and I'm skipping over a little bit because the next thing that happens is pretty nuts too, but the end of the volume pretty much goes into there's on the news, there's people that are all over the world that are randomly saying
Halloween,
Halloween.
Halloween,
Yep,
Halloween.
and they're stuck saying it, so that's probably going to be another mission for somebody to go handle all these folks, right?
Well, they just got
But
insane, so.
yes. So then um
Oh yeah, the
what
next
happens
you get
next?
the two people that got thrown out the window walk up and you see Quan Chi waiting for battle and they just put blindfolds on. And
So
at that point you're
Kishibe
just like,
and then the
oh,
octopus fiend.
oh, things are about to go down.
Yeah, and then comes Makuma,
And
who
Quan
has her
Chi,
arm back
I love what happens after that. It's just Quan Chi's just like, drop the weapon, I give up.
immediately. And like I'm getting like goosebumps thinking about this because I think this is going to be so insane. The more we find out about the world around Makima and how she is, like her backstory and everything, because I'm really excited to learn more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Quan Chi is like, "Oh, I'll do anything. You can get rid of my limbs. You can do whatever. Don't harm my fiend women friends that have been around me this whole time." And then Makima just get you. She has like this bloodlusted look in her face, and then she's like,
I
"A
don't make
corpse
deals
is
with
talking."
corpse. Yeah, or something along that lines.
Yeah, and just cuts through her. Yeah. Or she says, "A corpse is talking," and
Is that
then
the exact
ends it
line?
right there.
Yeah.
I grabbed that because that was cold.
It was.
And then yeah, that's how the volume ends. I I don't. Here's the thing. I said last episode I'm against Makima, and I could say I could still hold that of I'm against Makima as in she's evil, but she is so much more interesting than Denji or anyone
Oh
else.
yes.
She is so much
She's
more like I want to know more about her and what's going on with her, what's her story, What's her goal? Obviously, I want to know more about her powers. Um, but they do talk about it a little bit. That gives us a couple more hints because and we kind of glossed over this and I forgot about it. So Santa, when he's on that bench talking to that guy over wherever he lives, he's over in Russia, I think is where he's from, or Germany. I think it was.
I think it was
No, I'm
Germany.
getting her mixed up with no, it's Germany. I was getting that mixed up with Blast or
Yeah,
whatever
it's Germany Santa
the bomb.
Claus.
Yes, I was getting it mixed up with bomb. Excuse me. So on the back, so after they talk, they're on the back of the paper that like agent was talking to him with. There's a note that says Makima is listening. And so there's a part where Kishibe is talking with the octopus fiend in the middle of like all these different things going on. And they're talking about something that they don't want Makima to hear. And Kishibe doesn't really respond. And he goes, well, how do you know Makima isn't listening? And then the octopus fiend guy says, oh, I already had my octopus go search for any living small animals around here, and there's no one. Meaning that, like, you know, and then he even says it a little bit like she uses her power to go have all these little animals go be ears for her, pretty much. So kind of goes back to
I
her
am.
power to manipulate.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm starting to think like it's domination or something like that. I can see that
yeah,
being a pretty powerful devil. Something along that
yeah,
lines,
or
because that would
like mind
explain a lot of
control or
it.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that makes sense why she's able to just hear everything all the time. Because we've seen several different conversations happen where they're like, you know, Makima's listening, Makima, and they're like in different places around the world. Like it's, you know, like she's just this big ear, you know, for
mm-hmm.
anyone really talking outside in, you know, some area. And then what happens with Tolka when she has him sacrifice all that he is to escape hell. And then the rats, because then she also got the rats to do that. We talked about that before, where she was able to go get the rats to go make this big human sized, I don't know, shape, you know, that she was hiding underneath. Anyway, all of these things are leading to she can manipulate living things. On top of she has some crazy combat ability. Um, because she didn't use any powers like that on the Darkness Devil. Whether she could or couldn't, I'm sure she couldn't, which leads to why she needs to be as powerful as she
I
is
think she
to
can
just
only
walk away with losing an arm.
control. My theory on this is that she can only control things that are considered lesser. Darkness Devil would not count for. Maybe
Do
I'm
you
halfway
think?
thinking that she can control abilities though, because she does reverse the Darkness Devil's attack. It seems. I'm not sure, but
Do you? Yeah. Do you think that it's limited to she can't manipulate devils or fiends or some combination of that? Because
maybe because he's
because
not.
Tolka, we don't really know the state that he's in when they do that sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was a person, and then he was a doll, and then she was able to touch him, which she wasn't corrupted to become a doll, which means maybe he would have had to touch her to have that interaction take place, or he just couldn't because he wasn't connected to
So
Santa
maybe the
anymore with hell.
maybe the
I don't know.
powers don't work on other devils and fiends. Period. That's a limitation to all devils of that they can't just have a say power like that. Use it on other devils.
Yeah, because to at least to my knowledge is that she hasn't used a power like that on Denji or Power,
No, they.
or
I
really
don't think
anyone in the main
either.
cast.
Yeah, I don't think either fiends or devils that she's dealing with. She has. I don't think she fully controls them. Instead, she's more
Yeah.
like manipulating them. do what she wants.
Yeah, the traditional manipulation, not a power where she's
Mhm.
like controlling them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But then there's the other half too of excuse me, where not even just her. I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. When she was saving them from their attack a couple volumes ago, she had blindfold on. And then she was causing havoc and like had them say their names, which that to me seems like she was either using her power or these were all, prisoners that were just following orders because they were scared of like what's going to happen because she had them say their different names, right?
He
And
had him
then
say a name. I'm guessing whoever she was targeting.
okay.
Yeah.
So something about the blindfold is important to her powers as well because Kishibe and the octopus fiend put them on as she was approaching. They hadn't even seen her, let alone what she was going to do. And then even after Kishibe didn't want to see because his friend Quan Chi just died. So that makes sense that he didn't want to see, right? Like what happened. He knows what happened. um, but there's something important about when she's using it versus when others are around. So, like, could you, let's say you're in a fight with Makima. If you have a blindfold, can she not harm you now? Right? Like, that's kind of my theory of like that,
That's a
you
good
know?
question. I also wonder if you can actually reverse it, like with Medusa. Like if you have like a shield that's shining and reflective, maybe. Good
Mhm.
question. I don't know. Are we doing Medusa's
Yeah.
rules, or is it just that she has to have eye contact with you?
Yeah. Because neither instance did she have eye contact. Or, I mean, she had eye contact with Santa, obviously, and then, she defeated him. But when she was looking at those prisoner guys that were with her and she was saving everyone, she had the blindfold on. So she wasn't making eye contact. Anyway, I I'm so interested in everything about Makima, and I think her eyes are somehow related because her eyes don't just look like normal eyeballs, right? And Power, you could say the same thing, but she's a fiend. So I could be like, okay, I could go chop that up with that in some way. But Makima, we don't know enough about to just go chop it up and be like, oh yeah, it's just this. It literally, her eyes with the blindfold combination of, allies around her that she doesn't want to harm, put it on versus her putting it on and then saving people across, the entire town or wherever the distance was. Anyway, I I could theorize all day, but I am so much more interested in Makima than anyone else in the story because there's just she's such a big figure that everyone is intimidated by her or knows about her, and she like regularly comes out unscathed or immediately just terrifies anyone. Like she came back with her arm.
Completely cut
So
off, and all of a sudden she's fine. I don't know how she's doing this.
yeah,
I am really curious, and I want to know more about Maka. There's
yeah,
just so many question marks here. Oh boy.
yeah. Uh yeah. So I think that's like all of this was a huge teaser to the world building that we've been talking about of cool, we got a good understanding of the world around Denji. This one was very much about the world in general when you include devils and fiends in that nature that they've shown us since the beginning. Here's the other half. And the fiends don't want to be there, right? They do not want to be there at all. And then so much so that when darkness fell down, literally, everyone was just ready. Not even then, like before the fiends were like, I'm done. Like, tag me out. Like, what are we doing here?
Mhm.
And the only person that was able to even do anything, let alone like stand there for a few seconds, was Makima. Like, puts her leagues. So now we're jumping to like my original analogy of Dragon Ball Z where they're like they hear the name of Frieza, which in my head is the Gun Devil, and I'm excited to know if I'm right or wrong between this comparison. And then you have the Darkness, who's like what I compare to as Kid Buu right now, at least in power, maybe not personality or anything. I have no idea. And then for Makima to even interact with the Darkness and harm him in any way, he's or she's somewhere in the leagues of the Darkness to go do harm to him. So, somewhere in the Buu saga is Makima. Maybe she can't beat Kid
Maybe
Buu
like a
in this
Kai or
case.
something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's up there. She definitely would have beaten the Frieza, right?
Yes.
At least from this made up analogy, right? Maybe the Gun Devil is way stronger. There's got to be a
Yeah,
reason.
we really don't
She's
know
involving
anything about the
Denji.
Gun Devil. It could
Yeah,
be
we just
just
have the comparison that we've heard from before, where the Gun Devil is nothing compared to these primal devils that we just met, the Darkness one, and Makima was the only one that was able to combat and actually harm it, and then was quick enough to come up with a way to get out of there.
it could be just that the Gun Devil's really tricky and Makima can't get around to wherever the Gun Devil is.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been theorizing for forever now.
Yeah, we should really
Sorry
get to our
to
next
take it away.
section. We can't
Okay,
wait for
my apologies.
episode 9. Find out a bit. It's probably gonna be more of a setup for I think episode volume 9. So probably gonna be more setup for the next act because we already got through all the enemies.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna flip it around a little bit because last episode we left out Blade segment because we went on too long before. So let's do your segment first. Is that all right?
That's perfectly all right. I was actually gonna
Okay.
suggest that anyways. So
Good.
I want you to imagine this: you just been isekai into the chainsaw world, but you do get a handicap.
Oh God.
Yeah, you do get a handicap here. You can go into the world with and automatically have a deal or be like a fiend with code ownership of your body, or have something like Denji where you have the heart of a devil. But the devil has to be something that is related to you in this world. What devil would that be? And let's talk about powers and everything else about. I've already decided what I want, so I'm curious about what you would pick. Then I'll tell you what I got.
Okay. So I have to think of a devil that I would want to contract with.
And it has to be something related.
Am I thinking about what I've?
Has to be something related to you as a person.
Okay. Do I have to fear them or like something
No, not
I'm
necessarily.
related to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something like.
Interesting.
Give you an idea. You could do ninjas. That would be something that I would think would be related to you enough that I would be like, good one.
But are enough people scared of ninjas? How
Don't
powerful
know.
is that devil really? I'm going to say Souls likes.
Oh. I would. That's an interesting one. How would that?
Because I think there's enough people that don't want to play those games because they're scared of getting their butt kicked.
Yeah, but
And
it's a
then there's
different
enough
form of
people
scary.
Yeah, and then there's a form of people that do like content or challenges on their own, and they're always afraid of getting hit or dying or losing their money or whatever it is. I think Souls like is a good fear that would
So
relate
on a
to
scale
me.
of 1 to 10, how frightening do you think that is for people?
How fearful?
Yeah, let's say a 10 is the
Like
darkness devil or the one of the primals, where 1 is tomato.
4.
4, decent enough.
A
Yeah.
Souls like cannot harm you unless like you throw your controller and it bounces back and hits you in the head. Like it's a fear, but it's not like I look around the corner and my power went out. I'm scared of what I don't know is happening in the dark, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I was actually gonna go
Yeah.
with a dragon devil.
A dragon devil.
Yes,
But there's no dragons.
the concept of a dragon is good enough. There's a lot of mythical stuff in there. There's an angel devil. There's no proof that that exists either. And there's concepts that you could
Okay.
do.
I can see what you're saying. I think I think it depends on what part of the world. Because different corners of the world, different religions. This one's an angel. This one is a mythological dragon. And I say mythological because that's just how I'm going to
But
differentiate
angels
it. You
also
know, like
differ in the worlds too. So
no, for
I'll go
sure.
a
I'm
bit
just
more
saying.
specific, but I'll go with the Western style dragons. I'll go
Okay.
with that style. The more four-legged, winged, fire-breathing, that style.
Okay. What do you think that is on a scale of 10?
I think it'll probably be about 6. I don't think it's gonna beat the devil, but I think it's gonna be a bit more scary than Souls like. Because
Oh yeah.
if it's real, that'd be much more terrifying.
For sure. I mean technically souls like exists, but yeah, it's never going to harm me or bring, you know,
hmm
it's never going to make me go and have anxiety about it when I'm asleep and keeping me up at night, or I'm driving down the street and I'm thinking of Dark Souls or something, you know, like but your brain will wander sometimes on like, what if a zombie apocalypse happened? Ooh, I'm a big zombie. The zombie one. That
oh,
one's
we've already seen the zombie devil.
I know. That was they were weak.
Yeah.
They did not represent it because if I don't know, I feel like
I
you
think
could go think
also,
about the zombies.
if you actually think about it, like even in Chainsaw versus, there's many instances of Chainsaw beating Zombie. So it could have been rock, paper, scissors where you just picked the wrong opponent.
That's true.
And honestly,
Yeah,
zombies can
that's
be
true.
very terrifying to face in real life. It would be ridiculous. Um,
Yep. And everyone has had a what if in your head of like, okay, I live here. Let's say here on the news, zombie breakout happens. What am I doing?
okay,
Everyone has
if a
done it.
zombie apocalypse happens where I am, I'm screwed. I'll be honest. There's too many people around. I would probably be one of the unlucky people that catches it early, or I don't think I'd be able to get out of my area into a safer area in time.
This just gave me an idea for a segment. Maybe I'll throw it in for next week.
I'm fine with that. We can
Yeah.
talk about
Okay.
zombie apocalypses and what.
Yeah.
Ideally, there is a chance that I would survive, but I will say that it is slim.
We'll save you, Blade.
Yeah, you can try. So the
Yeah.
next thing I have for this is, now that you have a devil in mind for you to pick, how do you want to use the power? Do you want to be a fiend with co-ownership of the body? Do you want to be if you want to make it direct deal and stay human, or do you want to replace your heart with the devil like Denji, Thor, and a bunch of other people? I don't know. Whatever. How do you want this power
I
to
want
represent?
I want the contract.
You want to make a deal with
I
them?
don't want them. Yeah, I don't want it in my heart and be hunted. It's just a contract.
Okay. See, I would actually take the heart.
Really?
Yeah. I think that would be awesome.
Denji's a prime example of just being just straight hunted because he did that. I
True,
don't
but
know.
he also has
He's
some
maybe the only
insane
one we've
powers.
seen so
Yeah.
far.
I don't think a
That's true.
dragon would be quite hunted like the chainsaw, because there's definitely a lot more going on with chainsaw, and there are others like katana, and I think we had one other that had the same thing where they replace their heart with the devil, and they
Was
make a
it
deal too.
bomb?
Yeah, bomb. That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Um. So how would you use the power? Like, what would be the representation of it?
Oh man. Let's see. I feel like let's see. What am I sticking with? Souls like we'll do that instead of zombie because we already had zombie.
I'm fine
Souls
with either,
like.
because the zombie devil definitely wasn't represented right. So if you want to change how zombie devil is set up,
I'll do Souls like, and maybe we'll come up with a segment of how we can incorporate ones we've seen.
yeah,
What would
maybe
we
we
have
go
done?
through and figure out how powerful could this devil be if it was used right. That'd be an interesting segment.
Yeah, yeah. So let's use Souls like. I want when I roll, I am invincible.
Oh, Okay, okay, that would be interesting.
And if I can time, depending on the mechanic that I'm using, because I mean, there's lies of P. If I guard and attack correctly, it doesn't matter how powerful you are. If I time it correctly, I'm not taking any damage. And then there's the rolling, and then
So you
there's
have
what
you
am I
have
thinking
some
of?
form of invincibility either through from some form of skill like dodging or parrying or something.
Yep, yep.
Okay,
I could nullify your damage or just straight up avoid it.
interesting. That is a really interesting power.
Yeah, it's deep on my mind. We were talking off episode about different stuff we're doing, and Liza Pete was my game I've been playing.
I'll just
Anyway,
be happy
yes,
to be able to change it to some form of like I
a dragon.
dragon of some form. I don't want to be a huge dragon, at least not unless if I can like control the size or anything like that. But I think it'd be pretty awesome to be able to turn, in fact, be able to turn it to any dragon. That'd be really cool, like any size dragon. Like just fly around as a mini
Yeah,
dragon or act like a plushie on someone's shoulder or something. I think that would be
yeah.
really cool.
Breathing fire, obviously.
Yes, of
What do you want to
course.
look like? So, like, there, there's obviously a million types of dragon designs, and even if you split it between the east and west types of dragons, like, what is a dragon, a design in mind that you're thinking that you would be like, oh, I'd want to look like Blue Eyes White Dragon, or
Oh no.
I don't know, Charizard, or
Go with the red.
the red. Okay,
I always, I tend to think of whenever I think of dragons, I tend to think of a red one. So, and red's my favorite color.
there
I
you go.
don't think I would care all that much about colors of scales or anything, but I'd just be like a I just look like a different sized dragon depending on what I want.
Yeah, I like the Red Eyes Black Dragon design. Just that
It
color
does, yeah.
combo looks really sick. Yeah.
Yeah, too bad they really you could not play Red Dead Black.
No, he is awful. He just looks cool and has a cool name. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what would you sacrifice? So, if you had to make a deal, what would you sacrifice to get it? Like I'll say in this instance, we don't have to sacrifice, but I'm just curious what you would sacrifice if you had. What would be the contract terms? Give up on your end.
I would sacrifice. Ooh, I would sacrifice my right eyeball. Because then I can have an eye patch, which is cool. And then no one knows other than I could have said I got damaged, like Kakashi, you know? He's like, oh, he's got a scratch over his eye. Okay.
So I think the silly thing that I would do is I would think that I would have to make a deal that I would try to get as much shiny things as possible and hoard it.
Oh, hey, yeah. What's his name? Uh, what is his name? Are you thinking from like The Hobbit?
Yeah, you're talking about Smog, right?
Smog. I was thinking Smog, and I don't think that was right. That's
Yep.
Ninja Gaiden. Yeah, Smog.
Smog would actually be a good representation of that. Yes, and
There
that'd
you
probably
go.
be a good one, good reference for the dragon and everything. Because he, like I said,
Yeah.
that's how I tend to think of dragons for some reason. uh,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool dragons out there too.
yeah, and I think that's yeah. I think so. We ended up chatting with the last two questions I had. So yeah, that sounds like some awesome devils. Give us a devil that you would want to make a deal with.
Yeah. Let us know. Yeah, let us know what combinations you would put together to decide what you could become. You're implanted into the Chainsaw Man world. What are you gonna do?
All right, now we
All
got
right,
your
my turn.
segment. Yes, let's talk about some
All right,
primal
so
devils.
yeah, so as soon as darkness was revealed to us to be like an actual thing, he came out. We had heard about primal devils. My question was, I just wanted to brainstorm for us to try to figure out, have a spot in time where we think we could brainstorm some different primal devils that might exist that we could be introduced to later. So I don't know if it was ever mentioned how many primal devils there are. I would imagine there's got to be like a handful. There probably isn't too much because that would kind of lesser the effect of that title. But I feel like there has to be at least five.
So
Um,
my idea on the primal devil would be going off the word primal would be something that's always been a fear of someone. So most of the modern
yeah,
day stuff like guns, chainsaws, uh, things like that, they're powerful. We have a lot of fear to them nowadays, but they didn't always exist. It's something that we made. But darkness always
yeah.
existed, and I think
Yeah,
the
so I'm thinking
primal.
like primordial as well, which would be like right before the universe type thing. Something that always was there, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason why they have so much better power is because they've been gathering all this power over a long time. Chainsaw and gun are powerful in the fact that they're scary nowadays, but at the
Yep.
same time, there hasn't been as
Back when we
much
were cavemen.
time. Yeah,
Yep.
there's no way stuff like that existed. So I'm thinking one of them would be a water devil. That'd be one of my guesses. That's because
Here's
the waters always represents unknown as well, and people have died of drowning in the water. I think that would be one of
here
my guess for
is
primals.
mine. I I think so. I think this is kind of a cop out because I think all of them relate to this in some way. Is death, the death devil, because all of these have the relation of I could get killed
Yeah,
because there's a wolf in the darkness. There's, I don't know how to swim in the water. I could die. Things like that. So I would be in. That's what my brain goes to because death is always a fear since the beginning of time. However, I could see that not being the thing because that would just be almost too easy to just go pick because all of these really just kind of relate to I'm gonna get harmed enough to where I die or something like that. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them.
yeah.
Uh, so that's one that I think of. I would hope that they don't have it because I would want it to be a little more unique than that because then I feel like that one would just be too
I think
overpowered.
one of the things I want to point out is that there are things already that would be considered scary, even by our modern day terms, like common fears of like snakes and spiders. We've already met both of those in this show, and they're not nearly as powerful as primal, but they've also been
Yep.
around that long. So it's not necessarily because of that, but also I think there has to be a form of unknown to it because we know we can also fight. We can fight snakes and spiders, and we can kill them. So there is a certain,
Yep.
although we fear them, it's not like we can't fight against it. But a lot of these, like you can't fight darkness, you can't fight water. They've got to have a concept of that, for them to be that powerful. If you ask me.
What about what about something that's not going to physically? So I'm thinking along the lines of darkness because that's in the unknown, and I'm thinking also something in like isolation. So like you are worried of a divorce, you are worried of losing your kids, you are worried of the village you're in charge of abandoning you, you're isolated, you're alone, because that will bring undoubtedly anxiety and stress to you, even though nothing is actually doing something to you, but you're in your head. There's no one to help you get out of it. You have to overcome something very difficult. I feel like right up there with darkness would be something like isolation.
Yeah, I could definitely see that because even so,
Yeah.
isolate humans and isolations do not mix. Like if you see the
Yeah.
studies on like the isolation chambers that they have in prisons, anybody who goes in there does not. It doesn't end well for them, and it's actually
Yep.
considered cruel punishment to do it that way.
Yep.
So I can see that. I can also see time and age being another one. It's something you can't
Yep.
control. It just keeps on going. It's a passage of time, and it's something that's been around long enough for people to know it. That's like a concept.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say, I was thinking the devil that what's his name? Aki, he met was the future
Future
devil,
Devil,
not the
yes,
time devil. So
not
you're
that.
right. Yes.
Which there's different concepts to that. Like people fear the future. Like people fear AI, which that'd be a funny one. Let's
Yeah.
let's let's find an AI devil.
Yeah. It's just a
And that would
young,
be considered
little computer
future.
chip running around.
Yeah. uh,
Yeah. I mean, I think time is a good one in general because that's kind of like the umbrella for it. Because my mind went to also past and present and then future. And it's like, well, they all kind of just bundle up into time in general.
like a higher level of it. Like if there was a weapons devil, I think that could be. Is there something up there? I don't think it's quite more powerful than darkness or anything like that. But weapon devil would be more powerful than like
Yeah.
chainsaw and guns because it also incorporates chainsaws.
Yep. Maybe pain.
Hey, yeah, I could. Well,
Pain could be everything we just talked about with physical and mental.
mm-hmm. And we
Because
do have a
darkness
fear
isn't
of pain.
like
There is definitely,
specific to anything.
but at the same
Yeah.
time, we do have ways to fight against pain for us. Like we got pain. That that's more of a modern day thing. So
But
yeah, I
pain
can.
isn't just, but it's not just physical too. Because you could also take medicine for mental, but it doesn't just cure some uh,
Yeah,
anxiety that you have
mental pain
or
tends
some
to take
stress you're dealing with.
mental problems take a lot more to fix than physical. Count towards
Yeah, because you can kind of go the same route with darkness and be like, oh, I'm afraid of the dark in my room. Oh, that's easy. Get a nightlight. Now I'm in an alley and my phone's dead and I I'm afraid of like I can't call for help. I can't shine my flashlight on my phone. Like
That's probably a good call.
darkness is
Yeah,
really
and I could. Yeah, I could definitely see. I don't know any other. Maybe
hmm,
lightning. That's always been a fear of people.
lightning.
Lightning and thunder.
Yeah. That makes you think of what would be something, especially back in the day, where there's a belief that there's like a power above, right? And if you don't do something on behalf of whatever you're being raised to believe in, you will be punished for not doing that thing. Like there's got to be some fear in there that, you know, is if I don't follow this, I am going to get punished. Maybe punishment.
Main punishment. Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe punishment in general, but that
The
might go with
consequence
pain.
devil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The social anxiety devil, yeah. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what other ones we will be introduced to because I as much as I think it would be cool to have like the death devil kind of be like the head honcho above it all, I do think that'd be kind of lame to go pull and be like it's the Grim Reaper. It's like that's not fun. Like let's be creative. What can we come up with? And I don't know. That was why I wanted to come up with this, so we could go brainstorm and figure out as we continue. Now that we've met our first official one in the flesh, literally, what other ones we could see being, on the table as more. I'm hoping we're gonna meet more as we go. Maybe by name. We don't need Denji in the situation or Makima in the situation to go sit there and fight them all over and over again. But
Yeah, really. We don't need to face every
I do
single
think it would
primal
help.
devil that's there.
Yeah, but I hope as we find out more about Makima that we start to get to peek in, to her brain a little bit of not just her powers, her upbringing, how she got to be what she is, but what are her goals? Because even when the spider fiend was Princey was fighting in hell. Makima knew it was the darkness devil. That she wasn't there. So there's something, that allowed her to do that. Maybe it was because she was manipulating Princey in some way and she could hear whatever you want to call it. But she didn't just know of them by name or look. Like she was able to combat. So I'm interested in that.
Yeah, fair enough. Cares about Makima's definitely a big
Yeah.
question mark in my.
Yeah, I think she's evil.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's as evil as these primal devils. She's just evil in what we
I think
understand
we're
in
doing a
humans to be.
different level of evil here. I
Yeah.
I think the primals are after Chainsaw for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And why every single devil seems to have heard the chainsaw. Like, were they the executioner for all of them? And why them?
Before Chainsaw,
Interesting.
was it
Anyway.
the Axe Devil? Was they ever known as the Executioner
Was it a
or the
rock?
Guillotine Devil? Was there?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my segment. Anything else you wanted to add on, Blade?
Nope. Looking forward to the next volume. In both instances.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for ongoing volume episode 8 already. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, and we're gonna be posting on Instagram and all the other socials. We're obviously listening. You can listen anywhere on all the podcast platforms as well. And make sure to check out our Discord. Wherever you're at, the link should be there. If you can't find it, it is definitely on our YouTube. So check that out as well. And appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one.
See you guys then. Bye.